Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Bond Court is now in session.
Okay, Ms. Blow, you're charged with battery. Your bond is $4,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Tiffany Stuckey. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Ma'am, do you work? You didn't fill out your court-appointed attorney form, so do you work? Okay, all right, I'm gonna appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, ma'am? Yes, okay, thank you.
What's the amount again?
I'm sorry,
Amount on the bond?
it's $4,000.
Golden.
Are you Bolton, Ms. Bolton?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Bolton, you're charged with simple battery. Your bond is $2,500 on that charge. Disorderly conduct, $1,500. Cruelty to children in the third degree, $2,000. And public drunkenness, $1,000. You have a total bond of $7,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Dominique Foster. You must not violate any laws while out on bond.
I have a question.
Hold on just a moment. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and what's your question, Ms. Bolton?
Okay, so.
And you can't go into the facts of the case. If you're telling me anything about the facts, I can't listen to it.
No,
Okay.
he's in my home, but when I was gonna leave, before I left, I was just gonna get order of protection for myself. Because we don't need to live together.
Y'all live together?
Yes,
Okay, that means I need to keep you away from that house.
but it's my house.
Okay, you can't, well, you can't be around him, so if he leaves,
Yeah, he said he was gonna, I told him, he said he was gonna leave so that I could come, it's my house, so.
well, okay, if he's there, I don't have, an address here, but if he leaves, if he's not there, you can go back there, because where did this happen? In a park, right?
Yeah,
This incident happened in a park, okay. All right, so you have to stay away from him, so if he's there, you just understand that you can't be there.
okay,
You'll be arrested, you can be arrested if you do, but if he's gone, then you're able to live in the property.
okay,
Okay, all right,
all right,
thank you.
thank you.
Jonathan. Jonathan, you go up.
What's your name, ma'am?
Alexis Johnson.
That's pretty good name, Jonathan. No, pretty good name like that.
All right, Ms. Johnson, you're charged with stop sign violation and driving with no license. Your bond is $500 on the stop sign violation and $1,000 on driving with no license for a total bond of $1,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No.
No? Okay, your preliminary.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cam.
Are you Ms. Kemp?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Kemp, did you fill out a court-appointed attorney form?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Kemp, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000 on that charge, and theft by taking, your bond is $2,000 for a total bond of $4,000. You have special conditions that you're to stay away from Antonio Brown. You can't return to 6370 Old Dixie Highway, room 226. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. I've indicated on your bond order that you can make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to go get any personal belongings that you have at that location. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay,
But
and I have appointed an attorney to represent you. You had a question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your question?
Mr. Brown doesn't live at the 6370 Old Dixie address.
Okay, well, it says that on the warrant, so I have to treat it as such. So you can talk to your attorney about that, and that may be modified later, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Cool. You guys can wait, right? You know,
Are you Ms. Combs? All right, Ms. Combs, you're charged with stop sign violation. Your bond is $500. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, $1,500, and violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, $7,000 for a total bond of $9,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
man, what else? How you doing?
Are you Raven Manuel? Okay, ma'am, you're charged with identity fraud. Your bond is $6,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Queen. No, you don't have time.
What's your name, ma'am?
Alexa Queen.
Alexis.
Alexa Queen.
Okay, Ms. Queen, you're charged with cruelty to children in the first degree. Your bond is $6,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, and I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, Ms. Scott is going to continue for tomorrow, correct?
If we don't get the paperwork in time, yes.
Okay. This is Spencer.
Okay, Ms. Spencer, you're charged with battery. Your bond is $5,000 on that charge, and criminal trespass, your bond is $2,000. You have a total bond of $7,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Michael Watkins. You can't return to 5724 Riverdale Road in College Park. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. I've indicated on your bond order that you can make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to get any personal belongings that you have at that location. Ma'am, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so you will have to hire your own attorney. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am.
Your preliminary hearing is going to be scheduled for July the 5th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Okay,
And then I
Thank
have
you.
a question.
Yes.
So the apartment complex that you said, it's my apartment. He lives in Griffin. He was visiting. So it's like, I'm not sure why they put that address, because he don't even have a key to like get in my house.
Let me make sure here. Let me see.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to show them the lease or whatever, but they didn't let me see my phone. Like, you don't even get mail.
Okay, yeah, it says you used to reside with him, so I'll take that off.
It was in the McDonough location.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so I'll take that off. You just have to stay away from him. So you can return to that location, but you just have to stay away from him, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome.
Williams.
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Carl Williams.
All right, Ms. Williams, you're charged with disorderly conduct. Your bond is $1,500, and criminal trespass, your bond is $2,000. You have a total bond of $3,500. You have special conditions to stay away from D. Anthony Hightower. You can't return to 269 Highway 138, apartment 307, Riverdale, in Riverdale. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Thank you.
And that's gonna be all the females, Your Honor, unless you want to wait for Ms. Scott, or do you want her to come up?
When I finish, if I finish and we don't have the paperwork, then I'll reset it. Once I finish everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got it. Hold on one second. Give me one second. Make sure.
Your Honor,
Yes.
in reference to Mr. Thompson, Lathan Thompson,
Uh-huh.
I'm notified that he has bonded out.
Okay.
Other than that, everyone else is present. And first up is Mr. Alexander.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm just trying to check my paperwork here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, give me just a few minutes. I just received the paperwork on Scott and Stapleton. I'm just gonna do that really quickly, and I'll be back on in about 2 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm ready for Scott now on the female side to finish up. All right, are you Lakeela Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Scott, you're charged with giving a false name, address, or date of birth. Your bond is $1,500. Obstructing or hindering a law enforcement officer, $2,000. And identity fraud, $6,000. Your total bond is $9,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 via Zoom, and you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's all the females today, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Let's go.
I also have the juvenile. I'm gonna do the juvenile first before I start with the males. I have his paperwork now.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, quiet music.
If you'll just turn your camera on in the juvenile squad room. Okay, are you Mr. Hamilton? Uh-oh, he gone again. All right, there we go. Are you Mr. Hamilton? Okay, all right. Mr. Hamilton, you're charged, Amir Hamilton, you're charged with armed robbery. You have no bond set at this time. You have special conditions that you are to stay away from Chanel Brown. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, and you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir. Thank you.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
You said, I don't have no bond?
No, you can't get a bond on this charge, sir.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So we ready for the mails?
Yes, Sean.
Got Joshua Bell Smith up first.
Bill Smith? Maybe we next time, brother. Come on. Bill Smith, go. Whatever order she called you in, that's what you're going
All right, Mr. Bell Smith, you're charged with driving under the influence. Your bond is $5,000. Failure to exercise due care, $500. Driving with no insurance, $1,000. And following too close, $500. You have a total bond of $7,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, sir? Can you speak out loud? Okay, your preliminary hearing is gonna be on July the 5th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, sir. Tavares Alexander,
Yeah.
all right, Mr. Alexander, you're charged with obstructing an officer. You have no bond on that charge. Driving on a suspended license, $1,500. Driving on a cancel insurance, suspended registration and insurance, $1,000 and $1,000. 3 counts of simple battery. You have no bond on any of those charges because you're on probation. And then the possession of marijuana charge is being denied, so you no longer will have that charge. You must not violate any laws while out on bond should you get a bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 via Zoom. Thank you, sir.
Oh, shit. I ain't got time to do it. You have a room back to watch it.
Andre's daughter.
Quiet, be quiet. What's up? Yeah, I called you. Unless you call someone else.
Are you Andres Daughtry?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Daughtry, you're charged with cruelty to children in the 1st degree. Your bond is $6,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Aaliyah Daughtry. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And you didn't fill out your court-appointed attorney form, sir. Are you gonna hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am, I already have one.
Okay, all right.
You said my preliminary hearing is when?
July the 8th,
And you said, how much is my bond?
$6,500.
All right, thank you.
Ibrahima Diallo. Are you Mr. Diallo?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,000. You have special conditions to stay away from 75, 35 Highway 85 in Riverdale, you must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Jeremy Hilton,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hilton, you're charged with driving with no tag or expired tag. Your bond is $500 on that charge. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, $7,000. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, intent to distribute, $8,500, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime, $8,000, for a total bond of $24,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 via Zoom. And you didn't indicate how much you make per month or whether you have a job. Do you work, sir?
Yes, I worked at Little Caesars.
Okay. How much you make per month?
Like almost 2,000, 1,000.
Okay. All right, you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Joshua Lott,
All right, good morning.
good morning. Mr. Lott, are you Mr. Lott?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're charged with pedestrian walking along the roadway. Your bond is $500 on that charge. Public drunkenness, $1,000, and obstructing an officer, $2,000. You have a total bond of $3,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am. Now I have a question because
Yeah.
I was at my house.
Stop talking, so the guy.
So like, I was at,
Facts, I can't get into the facts with you, sir. If you have a question about your bond, I can answer that, but we can't talk about the facts.
okay, so my total bond is $3,500.
Right, and you want to have your preliminary hearing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Timothy Maddox,
Yes, ma'am.
1 second, Your Honor, he's in a wheelchair.
okay.
Position it so he can see you.
All right, are you Timothy Maddox?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Maddox, you're charged with aggravated assault. Your bond is $20,000. You have special conditions away from Justice West. You can't return to 116 Christopher Place in Riverdale. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July 8th at 8:30 via Zoom, and you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Thank you, sir.
How much my bond is?
It's $20,000.
Okay, thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, sir.
Brian McWilliams,
McWilliams.
Hello, Your Honor.
I can't see your camera. The camera is still down. Can we lift the camera up some? There we go. I can see you now. Thank you. All right, Mr. McWilliams, you're charged with fleeing from a police officer. Your bond is $6,500 on that charge. Center turn lane violation, $500. Reckless driving, $1,500, and obstruction of an officer, $2,000. Your total bond is $10,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 via Zoom. And sir, you refuse to fill out your court-appointed attorney form. Are you going to hire your own attorney?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Giovanni Asuna. Mr. Asuna, are you Mr. Asuna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Asuna, you're charged with simple battery. That charge is being denied, so that charge will be dismissed. And you're charged with obstruction of an officer, your bond is $2,000. Your total bond is $2,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You didn't fill out your court-appointed attorney form. Are you gonna hire your own attorney, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, there should be no talking.
All right, do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Or would you like to have a preliminary hearing?
I'll
Or you want to talk to your attorney first?
yeah, I'd rather talk to my attorney.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna put you down. Your preliminary hearing is scheduled for July the 5th at 8:30 via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Four minutes.
James Paul,
Yes, ma'am.
you Mr. Paul?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Paul, you're charged with battery. That charge was denied, so it'll be dismissed. That leaves you with obstruction of an officer. Your bond is $2,000. Driving on a suspended license, $1,500, and fleeing from police officer, $3,500. Your total bond is $7,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Sir, you refuse to fill out your court-appointed attorney form. Are you gonna hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, or would you like to speak with your attorney first?
I would like to speak with my friend.
Okay, so your preliminary hearing is scheduled for July the 5th at 8:30 via Zoom. Thank you, sir.
Now, 5th at 8:30?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe it's Pauline. Are you Mr. Pauline?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Pauline, you're charged with public drunkenness. Your bond is $1,000. Criminal trespass, your bond is $2,000 for a total bond of $3,000. You have special conditions to stay away from 8239 Queens Drive in Jonesboro. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No.
Your preliminary hearing is on July the 5th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, sir.
Giovanni,
Yes.
you're next.
Shelley Southall,
Oh,
are you Mr. Southall?
No, that's not my real name.
What's your name?
Juke Giovanni.
Is what?
Juke Giovanni.
Okay, I don't have that person on my calendar.
But what do you want me to say that's my name or something?
Is that name associated with you?
That's not my name.
Okay, all right, if it's not your name, you can just go back. We'll have to find you. I'm not gonna be able to give you a bond today.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can go back if that's not you. Do we have Shelley Southall?
John, that is the name he was booked under when he went through the booking process.
Okay, you can bring him back then. Bring him back.
Giovanni, come here. Just listen to what you're charged with, okay? So she can give you your bond amount and you get out of here. All right.
All right, sir, you were booked in as Shelley Southall. I know you're saying that is not your name, but.
They enforced that. They enforced me to say that that's my name, but it's not my name.
Okay, well, that's what you were booked in as. So I'm just gonna tell you what the bond is based on the charges you received, okay? You received a theft by shoplifting charge for $2,000, obstruction of an officer, $2,000, and giving a false name, address, and date of birth for $1,500. Your total bond is $5,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond.
And how long will I stay here for that? 'Cause I just stay up in here.
I'm gonna appoint an attorney to represent you, sir, so you can talk to your attorney about that. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, or do you want to wait and talk to your attorney first?
I wait to talk to the attorney.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
But I am in a freezing character.
Okay,
She said, I don't care. How you doing though, black girl?
They don't plan to.
Curtis,
In prison? They don't
Curtis
plan-
Williams.
Who?
What's your name, sir?
This.
What's your name? What's your name, sir?
Curtis Williams.
All right. Mr. Williams, you're charged with battery family violence. You don't have a bond because you're listed as being on probation.
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
You are charged with battery, but you don't have a bond because you're listed as being on probation.
Yes, ma'am.
You have special conditions to stay away from Rachel Cooley. You can't return to 5771 Trammell Road, apartment 12C in Morrow. You must not violate any laws while out on bond, should you get a bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am looking to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, what's your name, sir?
Jarvon Stapleton.
Oh. All right, Mr. Stapleton, you're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Bond is $1,500 on that charge. Violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, no bond. And violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, again, no bond. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Should you get a bond, you have a preliminary hearing scheduled for July the 8th at 8:30 via Zoom.
Is that when?
July 8th at 8:30 via Zoom. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney.
So can I get bonded out?
Well, no, because you're on probation, so I can't give you a bond right now, but once your attorney can work for you and advocate for you to see if he can get you a bond, okay?
I'm on probation now already, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
I'm on probation now.
That's what it says on your criminal history.
No, I passed it.
Okay.
I just never went to Fulton County to get my paperwork.
Okay, well, talk to your attorney about that, okay?
So how I get to my attorney? Who is my?
They're gonna come see you in the jail.
All right.
Okay, all right. Bye-bye, thank you.
John, that should be the last bill.
Yes, that's all I have.
Yes, Sean.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the Bond Court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
All right, if the officer in Smith will just turn his camera on or her camera on. We're ready for Anthony Smith. And I would just want to be sure I have warrants, but my warrants and my paperwork say Terry Smith. Is that what everyone else has?
Yes, Sean, that's what my paperwork says.
Okay,
So,
okay,
yeah, I'm not clear where the answer came from.
okay. Okay, the court will now call the case of Terry Lamar Smith, AKA Anthony Smith, case numbers 2022 WA 08724, 08725, 08726, 08727, and 08728. Present for the hearing here representing the state is Ms. Cheryl Freeman. The defendant, Mr. Terry Lamar Smith, is present and currently incarcerated in Clayton County Jail. His attorney, Mr. Javard Rogers, is present. You all may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Rosario, would you raise your right hand, please? And you can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Do you swear and affirm that the testimony about to provide in the matter of Terry Lamar Smith, aka Anthony Smith, will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Please tell us your name and how you're employed.
Officer Rosario, I'm employed with the Forest Park Police Department.
How long have you worked with the Forest Park Police Department?
11 months.
Sir, were you employed with the Forest Park Police Department on May 26th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
On that particular day, did you respond to a person shot call at 976 B22 Forest Avenue?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that an apartment complex?
Yes, it is.
What are those apartments?
Excuse me?
The name of those apartments?
I believe Midwood Forest Apartments.
Okay. When you arrived at that apartment complex, did you go to a specific apartment?
So when I didn't directly go there, there was officers already there on the scene before I got there. And they directed me to adjacent apartments that were next to those or behind those apartments.
What information did you learn when you got there?
They gave out a description of the male that that was associated with the incident, in which case another officer stated that he saw him, and at which time the officer stated that he saw him, that he took off.
Officer Rosario, let's go back. When you say a description of the male involved in the incident, what information did you gather as to what happened at this location?
So at the location, a person had been shot. Other officers was gathering information. They got the description of the male. The male had been shot in the ankle.
The suspect had been shot in the ankle?
The victim.
The victim, okay.
Had been shot in the ankle.
Okay. Was the victim transported to the hospital?
Yes.
Were you able to speak with that victim before he was transported to the hospital?
No, before I got back to the scene, the victim had been taken already to the hospital.
Did any of the other officers on the scene get a statement from the victim about what happened?
I believe so. I came back the next day and spoke to the victim.
Had the victim been released from the hospital when you spoke to him?
Yes.
At that time, what did he tell you that happened?
He said that his father had an altercation with the suspect, at which time the father called them in reference to there's a male out here bothering everybody. And then when the son pulled up, the suspect approached the vehicle and began antagonizing him and had a handgun in his.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part. He had a handgun where?
In his hand, and began attacking him.
When you say he began attacking him, can you tell us specifically how he said the suspect began attacking him?
So the suspect punched him and pointed the handgun at him in his face and kept on antagonizing him. And then there was a female that got out the car to try to attempt to separate them, at which time he hit her as well.
At what point did the victim state that he was shot by the suspect?
So they said when the suspect pointed the gun at him after numerous times, he said the final time they got into a tussle. And during that tussle, I'm assuming the gun went off.
Were there any witnesses who officers spoke to about what they saw?
Yeah, so one of the officers was able to speak to a witness that recorded the incident.
Did this witness record the incident on a cell phone or a video camera?
On a cell phone.
And did you or any other officers review that video?
Yes, I was. Detectives was able, when they got on scene, was able to obtain the video, and I was able to see the video.
Can you tell us what the video showed?
So it showed the suspect approach the vehicle with a handgun on his right hand and having words with the victim, at which time the victim exits the passenger side of the vehicle. He points the gun at the vehicle, at the victim's face. The victim tries to walk off, and the suspect follows him and punches him. After that, they began having words with each other. The victim, the suspect then comes around. The female comes out the driver's side. He goes up to her and punches her. And then he turns his attention back to the victim, at which time he points the gun one more time, and him and the victim start tussling.
Officer Rosario did, and you may have said this, I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear. Did the suspect point the gun also at the passenger in the car?
He had it in hand when he struck her.
Did he strike her? I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the video did not show him pointing the weapon at the driver.
Did he strike the passenger with the gun or with his hand?
With his hand. But I believe with the hand that had the gun. It was just so fast.
So based on your recollection, you believe that the suspect hit the passenger with, he had the gun in his hand and struck the passenger with that hand?
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to speak to that person, the passenger in the car?
No, I was not. Other officers spoke to her and was able to get a statement form from her.
Did she provide a written statement?
Yeah, she did.
And do you know if she had to be treated for any injuries?
I'm not aware.
Now, going back to the night of the incident, was the suspect apprehended?
Yes, he was.
And where was he located?
So while we was at the incident, there's people in the park, witnesses at the parking lot that said that was the male. Other officers witnessed the suspect, and he took off and fled on foot, at which time K9 was already on scene and they were able to track him.
Where did they track him to?
Behind the house on Mitchell Street.
After K9 alerted to where the suspect was, were officers able to arrest him?
Yes.
And do you know who that suspect was?
Yes.
And who was that?
He gave me the name Terry Smith.
And did Mr. Terry Smith give a statement about what happened?
I did not speak to him. I took him, once they placed him in the back of my vehicle, I stood by and waited for detectives to question him.
Do you know if Mr. Smith gave a statement to detectives?
I'm not aware. I was not in the room when they spoke.
Do you know if Mr. Smith had the firearm on him when he was located?
I'm not sure of that as myself.
Did either of the victims identify Mr. Smith when he was after he was arrested?
From my knowledge, once I picked him up and took him to my police department to stand by for detectives, the detectives took over the case and I just waited to transport him.
Okay. Do you know what type of weapon was used?
I believe it was a Glock from my knowledge, and that was placed into evidence.
Were any shell casings located?
No.
Was the male victim in the case, where, do you know where all he was shot on his body?
From my knowledge, it was from in the ankle.
The female victim, is that the person who was the passenger in the car?
She was the driver.
She was the driver, okay. And your recollection is when she was struck by the defendant, that he had the weapon in his hand that he used to strike her with?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did all of this take place in Clayton County?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the video of the incident, was that placed into evidence?
Yes, it was attached to the report.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers?
Thank you. Officer, I guess I just want to get clear on a couple of things and what kind of started at the end there. The video that you talked about on direct, who filmed that video?
There was a witness on scene from the house, from one of the apartments.
Witness, is it one of the people that's supposed to have been involved in the incident?
From my knowledge, no.
And also, since we talked about the video and there's been discussion of it, the shooting that's alleged, is that on the video?
You could hear the gun go off, but you and you hear the guy grab. You could see him just slowly go to the ground, but that's about it.
I'm sorry, could you say the last part about, you said something slowly?
I said you could see the victim slowly sit down on the ground, and the whoever recorded, the witness that was recording, saying, "Oh my God, he got shot."
And the incident location, this is an apartment complex, correct?
Yes, sir.
And if I'm not mistaken, if I heard you correctly, you said that the way it started was apparently, well, we have a couple of people. We have, I guess, a father and a son, and then a woman who's also there. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And so, as I understand it, the father is the first person involved. Is that correct?
There was the argument started between the father and the suspect.
Okay. And we say the argument started. What do you know what the argument was about?
No, they didn't give a clear cut. I know they stated that the suspect was out there starting and arguing with people.
And so then, have you talked to any people that corroborate that part?
I had other officers, the other supplements on the report that they spoke to various people out there.
Have you had a chance to review those reports yourself?
I've seen 2 of them.
And these other
I'm
witnesses?
not aware if there's any more.
Okay. The witnesses that you're talking about, did they write statements?
Yes, they did.
Let me go back a little bit. As far as the interactions with the police, are you guys all wearing body cam?
Yes.
And have you had a chance to review your own body cam at least to confirm that it was recording and operational and everything?
Yes, I have.
And it was operational and recording and everything?
Mine was. When I brought him to the department, I did advise my body camera had died.
I'm sorry, what was that last part? You said when you got to the department, you advised what?
I said when I got to the department where there's video cameras, that's when I did advise my body camera had shut off and died.
Ah, okay. But you were able to upload some video from the.
Yes, I uploaded the whole incident.
And so, and now going back to, I guess, the altercation or whatever, when we're saying an altercation between the father and Mr. Smith, are we just talking about just an argument, just verbally?
It was just a verbal argument.
And then so the father calls his son because he doesn't like the way Mr. Smith is acting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is his son law enforcement?
Excuse me?
I said, is his son a member of law enforcement?
No.
So what is your understanding of what the son's purpose is supposed to be?
My purpose was he just called his son because he's an elder man with health issues.
I'm sorry, yeah, it broke up real bad. I'm not even sure if you heard my or not. I was asking, what was your understanding of what the son's purpose was supposed to be?
He just wanted his son present. His son lives with him, and his father has health issues.
So does the father ever explain why he called his son as opposed to law enforcement about the situation?
No, he just said he just called his son.
And so then the son arrives with a woman driving, or a woman brings him to the scene. Is that correct?
Yes, it was a woman that brought him to the scene.
And once they arrive on the scene, well, let me ask you this: on this video that you're looking at, can you hear what's being like exchanged between the parties? No,
not outside. No.
So do you know what the son says to Mr. Smith when he arrives?
No, you can't determine. The video only shows Mr. Smith approaching the car vehicle with the gun on his right hand.
Okay. So let me ask you this: and so when the video starts, the car's already parked, and
the cars are.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
The car's already parked, but nobody has gotten out the car.
And are the parties, are they already acquainted to your knowledge, or is this the first time everyone's met each other?
From my knowledge, it was the first time they met. Everybody met it.
Well, yeah, I don't mean everyone, but I mean.
Yeah, the suspect and the victim.
Right. So do you know how Mr. Smith would even have any idea that the son was there about the father, other than one of those people telling him something or some sort of?
From my knowledge, I wouldn't. I couldn't determine that.
And so at this point, it's just Mr. Smith by himself as far as involved in the altercation on his side of things, at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like he didn't have any other guys with him or anything like that. Is that correct?
Yes, from my understanding, it was just Mr. Smith.
And let me ask you something. Is it the video that we're talking about? I know you said it was from one of the apartments. Do you know about, like, if you had to estimate, do you know what distance or like what floor the apartment is on or anything like that?
It appeared to be on a second floor because there's only 2 floors to those apartment complexes.
And do you know if it's like, is it right outside or is it kind of at a distance? You know what I mean? Like, is it 90 degrees from the window? Or?
It's like right on the window.
And this is, what time of day is this? Is it nighttime, daytime?
It was the evening time, but it was still light out.
And the area itself, is it well lit?
Yeah. It was that that borderline between getting light and dark.
Gotcha. Are there street lights on in that area?
Yes.
So you can see who's who on the video, like from looking at the people in person and then see the video.
Oh well, yeah. Well, yeah. It was still light when the video was captured, but by the time from the whole incident, it was becoming like from light to dark.
Okay, so the video is captured before it's not even as dark as what you were saying at that point.
Yes, yes. The video was captured. It was daylight.
And the pistol that you said, or I believe it was like a Glock that you had been submitted to evidence. Did I hear that correctly?
The other officers that was on scene that submitted it. I wasn't the one that personally submitted it. Those were the officers that secured the crime scene that obtained the Glock and the handgun and submitted it.
Do you know where that Glock came from?
They said they found it on. They said they were found at the incident location.
Can you determine what the object is as far as? I guess you're saying it's a firearm that Mr. Smith is holding in the video.
Yes.
Can you determine if it's a Glock or like what can you tell about the firearm itself?
You could just tell it's black in color. Can determine from the video what kind of make or model it is.
And does anybody ever search the vehicle that the son arrived in?
My understanding, it was in the crime scene. I'm not sure if CSI or CID searched the vehicle. At that time, I was securing the perimeter when the suspect had fled.
But at any point, do you ever see anybody, as far as the alleged victim, or the father, or the woman who drove him there? Do you see any of them with a firearm?
No.
Other than the body-worn camera we talked about in the video shot by the neighbor, is there any other video that you're aware of, like surveillance video or anything like that?
That I'm aware of, no.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because it may have been a reception issue, but the son arrives in the vehicle, and at some point there's a conversation between the son and Mr. Smith. Is that correct?
So in the video, you could see Smith approach the vehicle without conversation. He just approaching the vehicle as the victim is opening the door to get out. He as soon as he steps out the vehicle, he points the gun at the victim.
And let me ask you this: so that part, as far as how they come to even be interacting, the son and Mr. Smith, do you know how that happens?
Just by what the video stated and from what the witnesses and the victim has told me.
But as far as you know, nobody says to Mr. Smith, "Hey, that's guy's son," or "This guy's here."
Not from my knowledge. No.
And as far as the witnesses, you mentioned witnesses about the part, I guess, beforehand, a little argument, as I understood it. Are there people who are claiming they were outside, right in the area, as the altercation itself is happening?
So I know there. So when I returned to the scene, I know other officers were speaking to witnesses. I'm not sure if a witness statement was obtained through that. But besides that, whatever information I gathered from there, I'm not.
All right. No further questions at this moment.
Thank you. Anything else, Ms. Freeman?
No, Your Honor, the state rests.
All right, any witnesses for the defense?
No, ma'am, Your Honor, just argument.
Okay, argument?
State waives opening.
And Your Honor, I would say that in this case, this is not, there's no real basis, as far as I can tell, to say that Mr. Smith was the initial aggressor or the primary aggressor. He's there, he's having whatever interaction he's having with the father. There's no allegation that it became physical or anything like that. As far as I can tell, I'm not sure what authority the father has to regulate Mr. Smith's behavior. I haven't heard any sort of specific allegations that would justify that. I haven't heard that the alleged, like anybody out there is Mr. Smith's father. So I'm not sure what the basis is for him to call his son, who is not law enforcement, to come to the scene. I'm not sure if he's some sort of peace negotiator or something like that, but that's not what it sounds like to me. If they've already had an altercation and now this other person shows up, and somehow miraculously Mr. Smith is able to figure out that the two parties are together, it doesn't sound like they were there to promote peace. And I think Mr. Smith reasonably picked up on that and took steps to defend himself and stand his ground, as he is free to do. For those reasons, John, I would ask that the court would dismiss all charges for lack of probable cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Ms. Freeman?
Thank you, Judge. Based on the officer's testimony, we're asking all the charges be bound over. The officer testified the victim's father was older, wanted his son to come over for whatever reason. That's not even relevant at this stage. But be that as it may, there was a concern that Mr. Terry Smith had some kind of strange behavior. You had concerned citizens who were out there. Instead of just talking, Mr. Smith decided to pull his weapon. He fired his weapon. He struck the driver of the vehicle, had the gun in his hand when he struck her. The police got there. He takes off running. K9 locates him, and then he's arrested. We believe that the information provided by Officer Rosario is sufficient at this stage to bind all the charges over to Superior Court.
Thank you. Based on the evidence presented before the court today, I do find that the evidence is sufficient to establish probable cause, and I am going to bind all of the charges over to Superior Court. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Officer Rosario, you can be excused.
I invest hours of my time every single day to make these videos possible. Unfortunately, the engagement on my videos has been very low recently. Most of the bond court viewers do not hit the like button on my videos. Please, 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 hit the like button on my videos. The YouTube algorithms heavily favor videos with more likes. If you do not like my videos, then please tell me why in the comments and I can make changes to improve the channel. Thank you to all of you that do hit the like button. I am sorry that you have to hear this repetitive message, but without this message, less than 10% of viewers will like my videos.
Thank you to all of my patrons, members, and supporters. You are the reason that I am able to upload new Bond Courts daily. All members and patrons receive access to the Bond Court Discord server. Please send me a message on Patreon or leave a comment on YouTube if you are unable to join the server. Thank you all for your support.